Hello everyone, my second attempt at trying to record this video because I had an unexpected visitor. Video is going to be entitled, Why I Don't Read Marvel Comics Anymore. Like, when I say that, don't get me wrong, I still read back issues from the 80s and 90s, I love early 90s, some of the early 90s stuff, 70s, 60s, because I love some of the Bronze Age stuff, I love some of that stuff from Marvel, but I don't really read current Marvel comics. I really haven't picked up a current Marvel comic in quite some time, actually, and also, I don't really have any comic books to show anyone, so why not make something comic book related without having me show anything? And I also wanted to make this video too, so let's get started. One of the reasons I don't read Marvel comics, one of the reasons I don't read Marvel comics is lack of interest. Like, I literally am generally just have not been interested in reading anything related to Marvel comics. I have not been interested at all. It's like, I look at the stories that are out now, it's like, oh, Clone Conspiracy, and I'm just like, shrugged, and, oh, look at this, oh, shrugged. It's just, nothing interests me anymore, and I haven't felt that way about any Marvel comic in quite some time. When I look at things on the shelf, and I look at what's coming on, what's gonna happen, what's coming up, I don't have that feeling of, I must get that, I'm compelled to read this book. I have to have this. I don't get that feeling anymore from Marvel anymore. Like, compare that to DC, where I'm just like, Teen Titans, oh my god, I actually really want to check it out. Detective Comics, oh, look at this theme, oh, let me check this out. I really want to, I haven't been compelled like that like I am with DC. I haven't felt any genuine interest or curiosity with any of the books. I just haven't. It's like, I'm just shrugging my shoulders, like, whatever. So that's one reason. Another reason I don't really read Marvel comics anymore is the price. Oh my god, the price. $3.99 for pretty much every single book. It's really ridiculous. And when you're someone like me, who's a college student, not just a college student, a grad or professional pharmacy student, whatever you want to say, not like I exactly have money around to go throwing around everywhere, we college students don't typically have a lot of stuff to spend our money on, and it's just one of those things where it's like, I don't want to pay a $3.99 book for something that I'm not interested in. Why am I going to pay $3.99 when I'm not curious about something? And it's not just that, but you wonder, why is this book $3.99? The logic just doesn't. There's no logic to it, besides just price gouging. It's like, oh, let me pay $3.99 for this book. Let me look at the oh, look, DC's cover is made of different material and a little more sturdier. Look at, the cover for Marvel is made out of the same material as it is the interior. And the ink is coming off onto my fingers from the cover. Lovely. And not just that, but it's like, 32 pages, $3.99. DC, 32 pages, $2.99. What? The same amount of pages? Oh man, it's not just that too, but it's also, you can say like the digital code, like, so they're charging an extra for that digital code, and then my response to that is, if you're buying a freaking physical copy, you're not going to be you're not going to be needing that digital code. If you have the physical copy, you're not going to use the digital code. It's not going to happen. You know what I'm saying? For example, it's like Steam. If you buy, like, Batman Arkham City or whatever, the actual disc, you're not gonna go buy it on Steam. You know what I mean? It's one or the other. It's mutually exclusive, essentially. So the price. The other reason I don't read Marvel comics anymore is, it's the constant renumbering of the books. Oh my god. It's constant, always constantly coming out with another number one issue. And it's not of a different character, but the same character, but it's just a number one issue because they felt the need to renumber it for some weird reason. And it's just like, a lot of times they renumber books for no reason at all. Some people will say, yeah, they're gonna get more readers, but that is pretty much being diluted now. Like, there's not a whole lot of people jumping on new number ones as there used to be, because it's been done so much. And as you said, if you do get a boost, it's going to be very temporary and then back down. I just don't get it. And it's not just that you're not really attracting a whole lot of new readers, but you're really deterring older readers from continuing on with the book because it's just so annoying. It's a lot of times it makes no sense why you need to renumber. Like for example, DC Comics. Oh, this whole game-changing event where suddenly the timeline is sort of restored. It made sense to kind of start at a #1 issue with a good chunk of the book, whereas like Marvel, it's like, oh, look, X-Men versus Avengers. Let's renumber everything. What? Why? It didn't affect Spider-Man. What's happening? And it's not just that, but oftentimes the book ends and starts on a new #1 issue, but the storyline hasn't really been completed. And it's just like, all right, let's ignore that storyline. Let's tie up as much as we can. Who cares? And let's move on to this new storyline. What? What happened? I want to know what happened to the story. Oh, you're not going to follow up with it? Okay, then. It's like, it just makes no sense to keep doing #1 after #1. It makes it really hard to keep track of everything. And, like it's like, it makes it really hard to keep track of all the things that are going on. To like, oh, this book is going to be canceled. Why am I still picking this up? And, oh, it's going to just be launched to #1, but then I have to do a lot of tinkering with the pool, and, it's illogical. Like, my favorite is, we're changing creative teams. Let's start a new #1 issue. Why? Why? I mean, you remember when Gail Simone and the creative team left that Batgirl book and it still continued on, numbering was the same? It's just, that's one of the things that irks me. It's just, I don't get it. And not just that, but the new #1 issue, $5.99 or $4.99. That's what I'm saying, folks. It really turns me off. Another thing reason I don't read Marvel Comics is it's the events. Oh my god, they're just like almost never ending. Like, we have multiple events a year. Like, and it's always some sort of game-changing, altering event where everything has to be numbered and everything has to go back to #1 issues again. And almost every single book has to be canceled, and we have to start all over, even though nothing really has changed. But we're starting over, and nothing really has changed. And it's the events. It's so annoying. It's gotten to the point where it's like you don't care anymore. You're just immune to it now. Like, I don't care. I'm immune to it. And it's not just that, but it's like every single book crosses over into said event. Every single book is crossed over. Even if the hero is not even involved with it, it crosses over into it. And it takes away from the storyline that you're reading. You know what I'm saying? Like, DC has been guilty of it as well, especially with the major books, but not to the extent that Marvel has. I mean, oh my god. Oh my god. Same thing with the #1 issues, too. Like, DC has been guilty, but not to the extent that Marvel. Marvel does this, like, at least 2 times a year. It's annoying. But, it takes away from me wanting to read a book. It's like, oh, it's just gonna cross over into this event, and why am I reading this if it's crossing over and has nothing to do with the storyline that I've been reading? And then, oh, suddenly my book is canceled because it's changed everything, even though it really didn't. And, oh, what am I going to do now? It's just, like, the new events are just it's annoying. It really is. It's like, can't they just stick to their books? Like, Marvel's Superhero Secret Wars. It stood into its own little thing. It didn't cross over into other books. They show them going to the portal, bam! Next issue, they're out of the portal. They're back. You know what I'm saying? It's annoying. So it's the events, the big multiple events that seem to change everything. Is another reason I don't read Marvel comics anymore. Another reason is, I think it's the changing of the characters. I feel, and it's not the fact that I think diversity is bad, and it's just when they're changing characters, it just feels like it doesn't feel like it's for diversity's sake. You know what I'm saying? It feels like it's just more of a cash grab, in my opinion. Which, okay, it's a business, but it just doesn't make any logistical sense sometimes. Like, like Jane Foster taking over Thor, that made sense. Because, like, oh, Thor is unworthy because he's been inverted. Here comes Jane Foster. She's worthy of the hammer. I mean, that made sense. But sometimes, like, it just doesn't make any sense. And it's not, and I think the right word I'm looking for is it's not organic. Like, it just doesn't go with the flow of the writing. It's not organic at all sometimes. And it just feels like you're forcing things that don't need to be forced. Let it happen organically. Like Kamala Khan taking over Miss Marvel, this whole new character that just happened to get inhuman powers, and the Miss Marvel isn't occupied by anyone. She isn't replacing anyone. It's a vacant position, and she just steps in and makes it her own. It was organic. But it just feels like a lot of times it just feels so forced and inorganic. Now it really does, and I think what I'm looking for is, like, if anyone watches wrestling, for example, a few years ago there was this wrestler by the name of Daniel Bryan. The fans loved him. Every time he would walk out, instant, the roof would blow off. And at WrestleMania 30, he wasn't supposed to be in the main event. It was supposed to be a wrestler by the name of Batista. Batista just came back, and Vince McMahon wanted to force him into that main event role to win the title. But the fans just weren't buying it. The fans didn't take to him like they took to Daniel Bryan. But Vince McMahon kept forcing it and forcing it and forcing it, and it just wasn't taking. It wasn't organic. The fans didn't love him. It was like, oh, this guy who just comes in is suddenly going to get this title shot, whereas this guy who's been here every year and the fans have has grown to love him is not getting this shot. It wasn't organic and it didn't work. And that's what I'm comparing this to, some of the characters that they're changing in Marvel Comics. It's just sometimes it just doesn't feel organic. It doesn't feel like it flows with the writing. It feels really forced and manufactured. Like, for example, and you know what I'm saying? And like I said, like, when it's organic and it's good and it works. Don't just do diversity's sake just for the sake of having diversity. Make sure it works, make sure it flows, make sure it's organic. When Rhodey took over as Iron Man, Iron Man was an alcoholic. He's going through problems. It made sense, and it really worked. I have a good chunk of those stories for good reads. But that's what I feel, that it just feels, a lot of times it just feels so forced, and now I look at it now and it's like, oh, yay, I guess. It loses a lot of its effect. And so that's another reason. It's like the whole, let's keep changing these characters just for the sake of keep changing them, and for diversity's sake, just for diversity's sake, even though it doesn't feel organic, it doesn't flow, it doesn't, that's a huge turnoff for me. And I think the other reason I don't read Marvel comics anymore is that what was I gonna say? It's the fact that when people don't agree with something in Marvel Comics, it's been like a lot of times now, like the writers and the editors will actually fire back at the fans for saying, oh, you just don't like diversity, you're a bigot, it's not for you, you just don't like diversity. And like, I've been seeing that a lot lately, like with the writers and like editors and chiefs are like, oh, we're doing this for the best, what's best. You get on board, you don't know what's best, and just like, really slamming the fans of these characters, slamming the fans of these characters, where it's just like, just because you don't agree that Iron Man is now a girl, or like, Hawk is Asian or something, just because they like Bruce Banner, and they're like, oh yeah, but who cares? You just slam them and just like label them as, you must be like a closet racist, or you must be, you don't care about diversity, and, that's not cool. That's not. People are going to disagree. No need to call anyone names. No need to slam someone just because he doesn't agree with the Hawk being Asian. It's not the Hawk being Asian, it's the fact that the Hawk is a different character that they don't disagree with. Don't jump to conclusions like that, And that's just a huge turnoff for me. It's like, dude, come on, man. And that's really it. That's really why I don't read Marvel Comics. I mean, the price, the just forced changing of characters, the events, the constant #1 issues, the lack of interest, and all those are a recipe for me just not really wanting to read Marvel anymore. Marvel isn't for me at this point in time. It may be sometime in the future, but right now I just don't have an interest in it, and that's why I don't read Marvel Comics anymore. If anyone has anything to add, feel free to leave a comment, and see ya, everyone. Well, maybe. We'll see.